All right, we got the scores refreshed. Number one, Tori Torgersen, 258. Number two, Raymond Thies, 237. Number three, Dennis Linhardt from Deutschland, 237. Paul Purps, Deutschland as well, 235. Andrew Hall, 227. That's top five for now. Then we find Thomas McNeil with 225. Danielle with 213. Nora Jansson, 211. Albin Wallström, 211. And number 10 is Chase Nader with 207. So we have, let me see how many bowlers managed to do over 200. We have 14 out of 40 with 200 or more. And we also have some low games. The bottom four is 157, 151, 146, 140. So you can see it's not the hardest pattern we have bowled in, but it's not obviously in one of those sleek patterns where you can throw any ball anywhere on the lane and still get a strike on. Let's have a quick look around the bowling alley again so we know where everyone is bowling in case someone prefers to switch to a specific bowler and want to follow in a specific bowler. So on lanes 1 to 4 we can find Marcus Fransson, Timon Havelka, Patrick Hennen, Daniel Borner, Peres Benson and Andrew Hall on lane 3. Daniel and Kevin Melin on lane 4. If we move to lanes 5 to 8, we find Dennis Linhardt, which is currently on top 3 with 237. Jessica Lext, Paul Purps, Max Lorenz. On 7 and 8, we have Tobias Durl, Justin Urbano, Albin Wallström, and Raymond Thies. If we move to 9 to 12, we find Nikki Lillibot, Robin Persson, Moritz Wickman, Chase Nader, Timothy Tam, Anders Konstrom, Michael Mares, and Fredrik Abramson. Lanes 13 to 16, Andrew Anderson and Thomas McNeil, Oscar Brostrom and Mike Ong, Simon Komarek and Caroline Mitske, Carl Wargren and David Moika. And finally on the last pairs we find Jan Drenovic, Saskia Maltz, Nora Johansson, Tori Torgersen, Filip Jiranic, Martin Ike, Clara Rosler, and James Blomgren. If you don't mind, I'm going to stay a little bit in here to see a little bit of Nora, Tori, and James Blomgren. We will make jumps from time to time also to keep the action on Andrew Anderson and some other of the PBA guys as well, so we can see some of the action and actually see what kind of lines. Is there any difference between the different approaches each one of them is doing? Are they finding a little bit of a different type of transition ones from the others? So we'll keep an eye on as many as we can, and I'll try to explain as best as I can what I see, and in case you miss some of the action, at least you get informed about it. A very similar line for Nora over there with the IQ 78 as we could have seen on the previous game for Andrew Anderson and for Raymond Thies. Throwing around 7, 8, 9 on the arrow, sending it a little bit further outside on the break point, and just using that beautiful combination of control and power that the IQ 78 gives you. We saw something that it's rare to see actually. We saw James Blomgren missing a 7-pin. It's not very often that you see plays like that, leaving a single pin there. There goes Tori on lane 18, a little bit further out also than he was on the lanes 1 and 2. Usually lanes 1, 2, 3, 4, they're supposed to play a little bit longer than the right corner of the bowling alley. But for what I saw there on Tori and Nora, they had to move a little bit more outside than than they actually were doing on lanes 1 and 2. We could see how that ball was very lazy on the back of the lane for Tori on lane 18, which tells me that for whatever the reason, 17 and 18 is or are playing a little bit longer than 1 and 2 was playing for them just a couple of frames ago before they started this second game. Let's have a look at James, lane 20. Beautiful player. Very nice. Perfect balance. A little bit deep in the pocket, but that was a beautiful shot for James. Long green there. Whenever you guys hear that kind of a silence, is because I'm running around the other screens to make sure I don't miss any important action, so we can jump over there in case it's necessary. That was a little bit of a bad shot there for Nura. Missed a little bit inside. It felt like the timing was a little bit off on this particular shot, and very unfortunate also because it could have been just a 6 and a 10, but it's a split. To look at James again here in lane 19. Board number 12 in the arrows, all the way out to around 4-5 in the break point. Beautiful strike for James Blomgren. That was a beautiful shot for him. Let's have a look at Torres, see if it's the same thing on lane 17 as it was on 18. Around 10 in the arrows, so he missed a little bit inside. That's the second time for him that he leaves that 3-6-10. Previous shot was without the 10, but it was also the 3-6 and the 9 behind. Now it's 3-6-10 and the 9. Not an easy spare. It's one of those spares you really need to be very, I would say, precise to make sure you can chop it. Let's have a look at the spare. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, that's exactly the fear I had. It's very easy that happens, especially when you don't want to send it too far to the right, feeling scared that back at the bottom it doesn't really come back. So a little bit of a working time for Ture here in the second game. Lane 17 and 18, he has to still figure out what to do here. There you go. Good strike there for Nura. Is there anybody doing something that we should be paying attention to? Let's have a look around, see what the PBA guys are doing. We find Chase Nader over here on 9 and 10 with an open frame strikes pair. Taking a shot now on lane 9. Already deeper. That's already deeper than everyone else. That ball was somewhere around 14 in the arrows. Not further outside than 10 on break point. Maybe a little bit too tight, and that's why it was very light in the pocket, but it was a good strike for him. Let's move around and see what Andrew Anderson. Spare, open frame with a split. We have Mike Ong on lane 13 now, going to take a shot. Very beautiful technique. That's a very good example of the modern bowling. When he gets to the foul line, you can see the balance of the old school, but the process to get there is faster legs than it was on the old school, and obviously that beautiful yo-yo action in the wrist that gives all those extra rev rates that we didn't really had 30 years ago, or not many bowlers had 30 years ago. It was a very little amount of bowlers that produce such big amount of rev rates. if we go to the professional bowling, we would have to probably talk about Robert Smith, perhaps Amleto Monacelli, and a little bit Pete Weber in a little bit different way. But nowadays it's the opposite. You hardly see bowlers with low rev rate. You see a lot of rev rate, and what you can see is even more speed than before. Wow, that ball came out of nowhere. That ball that Oscar released on lane 14. It went all the way out to the gutter and still made it back when it was on its way down. I wasn't expecting the ball to hit the headpin at all. He almost got a strike. Let's have a look around again throughout the alley, so we see if something goes on here and there. Marcus Fransson with the turkey and a clean game so far. Patrick Hennen with a triple and a double. Daniel Berner with a triple. Pes Benson with a double and a clean game. There was an open frame there for Andrew Hall. Danielle trying to get her first strike, still in a 4-pin over there, but clean game so far. If we move to 5, 6, 7, 8, we find a turkey there for Jessica and a double for Max. Raymond is doing good so far. Spare and triple is going to take his shot now on lane 8, so we're going to wait for this one and see what happens. It's around board number 9 on that one, and that went really, really deep in the head. So I'm guessing he missed the inside. He's probably still throwing it somewhere around 8, unless he really missed one in and transition kicked in, which sometimes happen in today's bowling. It's a little bit quicker. It doesn't really give you a call every single time. If we compare it to 20, 25 years ago, you would do a few strikes and then maybe you would see a late 4-pin, and that was the first sign that you had to move. Nowadays you can make 5, 6 strikes in a row, and all of a sudden you leave the 3, 6, 10 when you thought it was going to be a good shot. So it could be a little bit what happened over here for Raymond. Let's move on. Now we're going to catch Chase again on lane 9. We actually saw previous shot on lane 9. It was a very light strike. The ball was somewhere around 15. Let's see where he's throwing it now. Oh, he moved back to the right because it was a very light shot. He moved easily everything on the line 2 and 2 to the right. The previous shot was somewhere around 15. This one was much more into 13s. The break point was also further outside than it was in the previous shot, and he had a much, much better reaction. And that was a very beautiful strike we saw from Chase. Now the easy joke is Chase is chasing it. Coffee starts to kick in, definitely. Let's see who else we have in here. So bowling also on these lanes, we have Nikki Lilleblad, Robin Persson, Timothy Town, Anders, Mikael Mares, and Fredrik Abramsson. Let's have a look a little bit further down. Oh, Andrew is already testing some reactive. That was the concept. That was not too deep in the arrows, probably somewhere around 13, but was just a little bit too far to the right on the break point. That was probably around 3, and that could be a little bit too far to the right. Yeah, but definitely you can see Oscar is swinging the ball further outside than I've seen uh, mostly anyone so far. I don't know which ball is he throwing, but it definitely is coming back from really far to the right. It's actually good to be doing every streaming because you get to see almost every bowler in every lane, and you get new ideas that if I get to bowl another squat, I may try to give it a try and see what's the response I get from the lanes. Also, it's a good thing that I decided to bowl one squad this year because then I can give you a little bit more of a perspective, not only from what I see on the screen, but what I could actually feel on the lanes, and so try to give you a little bit of a better understanding on what's going on and why the bowlers are trying to attack the lanes in a certain way or a different way depending on the situation they find themselves on. Let's see. We're gonna move again. One more pair to the right and see what we have in here. We have okay. Look at Mr. Classic Tore Torgersen. After a few open frames, he's got a turkey in there, so probably he has already figured out what he wants to do on this particular pair, and now it's just a matter of throwing a couple of good shots again and try to minimize the open frames, and if possible, try to keep improving a little bit his score. For what I can see, James is still bowling the same ball here on lane 20. I think he missed a little bit to the left. You can see in his body language he's not really happy with that shot. I think he missed a little bit to the left. That made the ball become a little bit early on friction and become a little bit weaker on the angle, and that could probably explain that 7-pin he had. We see Nora running into a lot of splits again. She's got a couple of doubles, 2 splits. This one is going to be the 3rd split in the game for her. But if there is some bowler in this bowling alley we don't need to worry so much about, I think that's Nora. She's not only super talented but so determined that she's gonna end up kicking ass and finding a spot to bowl high sooner rather than later. We're gonna have a look again at Tori on lane 18, see if he has changed anything on his line of bowling, or if he has even switched bowls, or if he has found a small adjustment and is still throwing the same ball when he shot 258 on game 1. Let's have a quick look at him. That was far to the right. We could see the ball almost in the gutter. Let's have a look again. We can see how he misses a little bit right, and we will actually see how the ball goes far to the right. No, we didn't see. Something I did not do the right way. We will try again later on. But the ball was a little bit too far to the right, and that made create a little bit of a different angle for him. That was the reason why for that 10-pin that Torre had over there. Almost done in most of the games, except for lanes 3 and 4, which are a little bit more, a couple of frames more delayed. So as soon as everything is done, we will refresh, and I'll keep updating on each one of you. So we see James on lane 19. Beautiful shot by James over there, looking to get a double, make the par. Another bowler that is not to worry about. He's probably going to get as much information as he can on this squad, and they're going to bowl a few more squads and probably find a solution to score much higher a little bit later on. Let's have a look around again. We see some striking out on lanes 1 and 2. Saving the game for Patrick Hennen over there, 205. And Daniel Borner is got a 5 in a row over there after that 9 miss. So it was a nice recovery over there for him. looking for a potential score of 247 if he strikes out. Let's see Perez Benson on lane 4. He just got a washout over there. We see Danielle also managed to find a double after a streak of 3 nines in a row, but then she got a 6. She managed to spare. Needs to strike out for a 221. Let's see if I find where Andrew Hall was still on lane 3. And Chase Nadeau was doing a little bit more of striking on lanes 13 to 16, I believe. That's Andy Anderson here. That's Mike on. So that means here we find Chase. Beautiful strike there for Chase Nadeau. If we compare what Chase is doing at the moment with yesterday's squad, it seems like he's slowed down a little bit this bowling ball speed. One thing I certainly can tell you is this pattern, especially on fresh, it doesn't like you to go around the ball. It's a lot more consistent and easier to bowl when you manage to roll the ball a little bit more forward, kind of almost trying to make the ball make a hook and stop instead of just skidding long and snapping back at the end of the lane. They're taking some time to take the next shot on 9 and 10. Nice strike over there. That was a beautiful shot. Beautiful pin action. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I've been told that the bowling was a little bit low. I'm going to try to scream and put out my lungs there a little bit louder. Maybe I need to go and grab a Red Bull so I become a little bit stronger in the way I speak and nobody falls asleep. Jokes apart, I would try to move a little bit the microphone and try to make sure that it sounds a little bit better now, that you can get my voice and commentary a little bit clearer. And obviously, we thank you for sending commentaries because that's the main idea we have in here. We want to give you the best information, the best streaming, and not only the best images, but the best coverage possible. And since when we work in live, we cannot really see what we are or how we sound like. In the headphones I have, I hear myself loud and clear. So it's always good that you guys give us a little help and make sure that we can get the streaming working in the best manner possible. Okay, back into the action. We saw Moritz ending with a double and a 9 for a 225 game and a total score of 431. Beautiful game also here for one of the local bowlers, Robin Persson in lanes 9 and 10. Clean game, 4 in a row. Chance for one more on frame 11. And a total score of 236. Now we see Chase over here. I was a little bit weaker on the hand this time. He grabbed it a little bit less. It was also a little bit more on the side. You can see how he kind of makes a release on his way back outside the approach. So that proves that he wasn't truly satisfied with the way he released that last shot. and that explained why the ball was a little bit light in the pocket. But after all, we are made of bones and muscles. We are not machines, so it's impossible to make every shot exactly the same way. Nice hand anyway for Chase over here. Started with an open frame but managed to save the game with a 226. That gives him a score of 433. And that is a good beginning. Let's move into the next pair so we can see how Mike Ong finishes that game. Strike out for a total of 247 and a total score of 433. It's quite a bunch of guys now with that score of 33 over ungefär, approximately. Let me see. I think we have one. Yeah, we have one lane with. Jasper would be smiling now because it's Raymond Tees actually who's the last one in to finish this game. Let me find them so we can see how they end this game 2. As soon as they finish, we will, as always, refresh the scoring and we will update you so you have a clear idea on what are the standings for this particular squad. Let me see around because unfortunately, my biggest technician and right hand, Victor Backe, is on a driving lesson at the moment, so I'm in command not only on the microphone but the buttons in the pads in here, and I'm very dangerous with so many buttons. I don't trust myself, so I have to make sure whatever I touch, it's the right button. Let me see. That was top 5 from last night on the latest squad we bowled last night. Albin shot 1473 and Marcus Johnson 14 and 49. And the one I wanted to show is this one. That's the overall top 6. 488 for Tomo. Then we have Noel, Albin, Marcus, Carl Eklund with 1431 and Alexander Tigerstrand with 1429. That's the top 6, the current standings just before the squad we are watching right now. So 10th frame on game 2 for Raymond Tees, Albin, Tobias and Justin, and as soon as they are done we will refresh and we will be back with an update, proper update of the scoring. Be right back. All right, I'm trying to refresh this, but it's taking a few seconds, so we're gonna wait, and in the meantime, we're gonna look around, see who's where, like we usually do. Lanes 1 and 2, we find Paul Purps, Max Lorenz, Jan Drebenic, and Saskia. She bowled quite a good game on the last one. She had quite a few strikes in a row over there. 3 and 4, we don't know yet because they are yet to change. 5, 6, we find Moritz Wickman, Chase Nido, and Marcus Franson and Timon Hebelka. And that's why the scores were not refreshed. Justin Urbano was still ending his last shot on the last frame on the game 2. So I'm pretty sure in about 10 seconds we're going to be able to refresh all scores, and then I can give you a proper update on what are the standings at the moment. So we'll move around. Lanes 9, 10, we find Mike Ong from Singapore. He seems to be bowling a little bit more comfortable today. It's standing on a, I would say, a very similar area where the tournament leader Tomo was bowling when he shot his 480 something. Maybe a little bit deeper, 1 board deeper, 2 boards deeper in the arrows for Mike, but he is also, I would say he's using a reactive ball. I'm not so sure, but he has a little bit more of a gripping, a little bit more of a yo-yo on the release than Tomo did, so it makes sense that he has to stand slightly more to the left than what Tomo did. If we go to the next camera, we find Nura and Torre. There's Torre already. It looks like 13 and 14. He likes a little bit more than he did on the previous pair. Starts with a double. I'm going to wait and see what he does on his next shot on lane 13. When I bowled there, lane 13, and when I asked a couple of the guests we had, they all agreed that lane 13 is slightly faster than 14. That was very sticky in the thumb. We can see how he even lost his balance when he released the ball over there for some reason. Yeah, it was a little bit of a late thumb for him. So, going along, 15 and 16, we find another big name, James Blomgren. Also started with a double on this game number 2. And while we see how Torre takes his pair, I'm going to go and refresh the scoring again, because I'm pretty sure now we're going to have some results, and we do. All right, actually top 10 still over par, but now it's only 10 bowlers over par. Number 11 is already dropping down to 397. Leading the squad, it's still Torre Torgersen, 448. So we could say game 2 was not a success pretty much for nobody. Raymond Tees, number 2, with 199 on game 2. So it's 436 for Raymond. Then we find Mike Ong. He did it the opposite. He shot 186 on game 1, but 247 in game 2. Chase Nader, 433 as well. Moritz is now with 431. Dennis Linhart, 430, also shot 190 on game 2. Then we find Daniel Berner with 427. Daniel did the same thing as Mike Ong, 247 on game 2. And number 89 is Robin Persson and Paul Purps with 425 and 414. And number 10 is Andrew Hall with 405. So let's have a look on what we have now on cameras. We're going to take a trip to lane 14 with our buddy Paul Torre Torgersen. Let's have a look where he's standing on this lane. Moving a little bit deeper, actually. Now it was throwing around 12. That's exactly the spot where Tomo was throwing rockets the other day. Torre is throwing the concept. He just drilled it for this tournament, and it's looking very, very good for him. Let's have a look at James, since he's standing in front of us. He's going to release on lane 15. Very similar line as the one we saw on Torre on lane 14, just on the left side. And a beautiful strike there for James Blomgren. Now, I think we should go and have a look a little bit on our PBA guys. Let me find them so we can go and have a look at them. We have them on the right side. We have Andrew Anderson now on lane 18. There goes Andrew, a little bit deeper than anyone else. Beautiful messenger there for Andrew Anderson. Also bowling in 19, we can see Danielle. She's going to be throwing pretty soon. And in the meantime, while you guys watch Andrew and Danielle, I'm going to start finding where are Raymond Tees and Andrew Hall and Chase Nader, so we keep an eye on them from time to time as well. And it looks like a little bit of transition is showing up. I see more striking already on this game number 3. So we will be very busy touching buttons in the pad, running around the alley, trying to make sure that we don't miss any piece of the action. Actually, we can jump for a second to lanes 9 to 10 because we can see front 4 here for Oscar Bronstrom. And we can see front 4 also for his partner in crime, Mike Ong. Actually, they are bowling in the 2 opposite categories. Oscar is bowling for the senior category. He could have a bye over there, while Mike Ong, he could have a walk-in through the under 21. Why is it that every time I go to somebody that is striking, it stops striking? It's unbelievable. I think the only one that surpassed that thing was yesterday, Raymond Tees, when he shot the 300, but unbelievable. Okay, I can tell you that James Blomgren made his 4th strike, but I'm not going to switch cameras there just in case. I don't want to bother someone else. It's a little bit too late for Mike Ong. He's going to take shot right after Oscar takes his spare. What's the word in English? I cannot find it now in my head. The curse. It's kind of a curse. The camera is already here, so the course has been spread out. There's nothing else I can do about it. I cannot take it back. And yeah, you can see I definitely went to pick up some caffeine. The nonsense is already here. Probably we need to find me some guest soon so I don't become too crazy talking a lot of nonsense and make everyone fall asleep. We need everybody awake. It's a lot of action. It's a lot of bowling still to come. It's a lot of strikes still to come. It's a lot of superstars still to arrive. Earlier this morning, we had the arrival of the champion, Sean Rush. He should be here sometime soon with us. A.J. Johnson, also a champion a couple of years ago, no, 3 years ago, unless I'm wrong, is also in Helsingborg. And I'm very happy that we didn't jinx Mike. It was a wonderful strike there for Mike Ong on lane 9. Actually, some strikes happening here and there. I'm going to try to give you some piece of information. Nora Johansson has a spare and 4 in a row. Tore Torgersen has a double spare and a triple. Moritz has a double spare and a double. Mike Ong, we can see his front 5. Oscar, also we can see it on the camera now. He's got front 4 and a spare. Looking around, I can see Andrew Anderson with the spare and a triple. On lane 20, I see Simon with a 999 and a spare. And I think I'm not missing anybody else doing quite the high game or a good momentary streak of strikes. There we go with Mike Ong again. Week 10 over there for Mike. All right, since the strike is not carrying in here, I think it's a good time to go and have a look at our buddy on lane 17 and 18, Andrew Anderson. He just left the 10 pin after a turkey. It even feels like this time we jinxed him even before we get to see the actual shot. And the man of the hour just arrived. Did your ears were whistling by any chance? I was just talking about you, man. What are the odds? Mr. Sean Raj has just said the champion has arrived today. He should be here sometime, anytime soon. What are the odds? How was the trip, buddy?
Very good, very good.
Nice, yeah?
Who we watching?
A little bit of everything. We have Andrew, we have Chase, we have Nora, we have Torre is playing. Tori Torgerson is playing. Can you believe that? And he's leading the squad. He shot 258 on game one. Got himself into a little bit of trouble on last game with a couple of open frames. Saved it at the very end. And now he's striking there. He's bowling along with Nora. Let me show you the cameras. No, that's Mike on. Tori and Nora are sitting here on 13 and 14. You see Nora is 5 in a row there. And Tori is throwing now on 13 with a concept somewhere around 12, 13. A little bit deeper, it missed in, I think. Yeah, that one missed in, but look at the hold.
So good. I bowled him from here 20 years ago.
He's unbelievable. I was talking to his son upstairs during the warm-up, and I said, Noel, I'm just going to piss off a little bit with that. I took a video on Torre, I put it on Instagram, I said, this is the classics, and I made it black and white. I'll see you soon, Sean. Sean Rice, guys, is already here, as I was telling you. The former champ and defending the title is going to look at defend his title here in Olympia Bowling Alley. Some striking going on by the Scandinavian troop over here. We see 5 in a row for Nora. We see front 4 spare strike for James Blomgren. And a double spare and 4 in a row for Tori Turkison. I mean, that kind of makes me want to bowl again and say like, can I do that too? It's beautiful to be here, let me tell you, because the atmosphere and it's almost like a very, very big family that reunites once every year, and we get to spend all this time together and talk about a bunch of nonsense, memories, and fortunately also remembering those that are no longer with us, but stay forever in our heart. With the recently passed away of Jacob, for example, that was a very sad moment for the whole bowling community. And I remember myself 3 years ago, 4 years ago already. Time goes so fast when we lost my mentor Thomas Leandersson, and so many others that have been departing lately, unfortunately. But let's stay in the positive side. Let's stay in the happy, and because that's actually what they would wanted. That we stay happy, we stay smiling, and we keep bowling, even if we can not carry the ball anymore, but keep going and keep doing what we love the most, and what has been part of our life almost as much as breathing, eating, and taking a shower. Yeah, I got sentimental all of a sudden because it was nice to see Sean coming by, and it's bringing so many memories from the first time. It happened to be the same year that we both came for the first time into Olympia. It was a bunch of newbies. We were the youngest ones, but there was a few more other bowlers like Bill Huffman, Tim Mack, Bill Rowe, that also spent some time away of bowling, and is now again doing it pretty good on the PBA senior. All right, but now present is present. Today is today, 2026. Bowling today belongs to people like that fucking lady just made a shot on lane 13, Nora Johansson. Pure talent, pure talent, pure talent. And that is what it is today. The thumb is only for scratching your heads and finding new ideas. But another crazy topic, why is there so much hate with the two-handers? I mean, I cannot bowl two hands, but I fucking love watching it. It's beautiful to see how they do. It's a revolution in the game, and actually not only a revolution, but a logic evolution due to the material and the conditions we bowl today. If the patterns were completely flat, and they would not open up the way they open, precision and not power would be the tool on top. And everybody would have to adapt to that. But since bowling it is the way it is today, and it doesn't matter how flat the pattern is after one game. You manage to open it up. You need power, and that's it. You need power, and obviously you need the understanding. Understand how to read the lane so you stay ahead of the transition, and understand which ball you need to put in play every time so you get the right carry or the best carry you can have. But besides that, it's a little bit different than it used to be. Okay, the strike party continues for Scandinavia. Let's see if James carries it on. Yes, he does. And now it's time for Nora. There goes Nora. Power, poor power. And no, that was a little bit too much maybe. 3-6-10. Luckily, the 7 pin was down. That's a spare that she should do. And that's going to be, with the spare, a 250 game for Nora. It's going to keep pushing her score up. Currently, she was having, let me have a look where she was standing. 389 with the games of 211, 178. We saw both her and Tori get into a little bit of trouble on the previous lane. But now it's looking a lot better for both of them. Let me have a quick look around with my eyes on every single camera to see if there is anybody we need to pay some extra attention. Let's run around because some lanes are almost done or done. We see a 247 for Saskia. That's a beautiful end of the game. 213 for Paul Purps. And Raymond Tees with clean game, just one double. Why is it again that Raymond is a little bit late compared to the other ones? I'll tell you why, because he finished a little bit later the previous game, and once you are late for the rest of the day. Lanes 5 to 8, some striking there as well for Moritz with a double and a 4 in a row. With a strike out, it would go all the way up to 258. Chase also with a clean game and a couple of doubles on lane 5. So we're going to wait and see where Chase is throwing the ball now. So we keep having attention to those 4 or 5 players we have been following from the beginning. So you guys get a better idea on how the transition is going on and how quickly it changes from one lane to the next one. Actually, while I was talking about it and waiting for Chase to make his shot, I could see Raymond on the left side of the screen on lane 4, and he's a lot deeper than he was last time we saw him. That's a very similar line for Chase than he was doing before, but instead of throwing the IQ 78, that felt like it was either a concept or, because it was a little bit clear blue, so I'm not sure it was either a concept or an idle solid with a little bit of surface. Let's see if I can see the ball come out of the ball return and get a better idea. I'm not sure. It's not either not coming out, or if it's that one that has already come out, then it's a concept for sure. Anyway, he had the soft 10 over there. So we're going to move along into the next lanes. We see Andrew Hall stays a little bit further. Oh, look at that pin action. A late 2 and 7. That was a very short and light in the pocket, but very late 2-7. That's a lucky strike down. But after all, we are at the Lucky Larsen, so that's what is supposed to happen. Now, let's see how many strikes. Look at what's going on lane 9 and 10. That's a bingo party over there. Oscar Bronstrom on his way for 279. Mike Ong not running short. He can also shoot 279. And Jessica bowling with them. She's on her way for a 259. That's, as I say, it's a bingo party. Strikes everywhere. Look at that. Another one for Oscar. Perfect strike over there. 279. Beautiful game. Let's have a look at Jessica. Can she strike in there as well? Very beautiful strike for her. Beautiful shot. Beautiful piece of action. Daniel, can I have a spot on lane 9 and 10 only? It looks like I could do some strikes over there. All right, let's have a look at Mike Ong on lane 10. Also looking for a high score. Mike currently had 433. He started with 186, 247 last game. Looking to extend that striking pace. That was really deep inside. He missed a lot. You could see how he was directing with his hand the ball, trying to tell us, stay to the right, stay to the right. The ball did stay to the right of the pocket. A little bit of a late 4-pin, but another strike for Mike Ong, who is already on the 260s. Looking to strike one more, and so did Jessica. Double on the 10th frame. That's already a 250 something for her. If it strikes, it's going to be a 259, so look at that pair. Dennis Lienhardt with 210 is going to have to pay the Coca-Cola for everybody on this game. That was pretty deep as well. No? Okay, maybe Mike is playing a little bit tighter than I thought, because that line seemed to be quite straight again. He's not really sending the ball too far outside. It looks like he's not playing from the oil, trying to bank it. On the contrary, he's trying to chase the oil all the way down. And let's have a look at his last shot in the game to make sure he's doing the same thing. In the meantime, Jessica did strike out, so 259 for her. And there goes Mike, last shot. Yeah, that was more the line I was seeing, a little bit more to the right, but that was a 10-pin, so probably he was throwing it a little bit tighter than I was imagining, because he did carry on the previous two. This one was slightly more into the right. It looked better in my eyes, but instead he had the 10-pin. So that tells me that the actual line was the shot on frame 11, a little bit tighter, a little bit deeper on the breakpoint, not so much as this one, which was somewhere around 9, but keeping it more inside, more or less around 11. Okay, let me see who's got some action, because game 3 is pretty much done nearly in every lane. So we're going to move back to 5 and 6, where we find Chase bowling his 10th frame with the iron solid, and because the iron is solid, the 9 is also solid, and it stood over there. That was a beautiful shot, just slightly deep inside in the pocket. That explained that 9-pin. He was chatting with his pal over on lane 7, Andrew Hall, taking a shot, and a beautiful shot over there for Andrew Hall. 247, total score of 652. And I'm gonna tell you that this time Raymond Tees was not the last one in the squad. He just shot his last frame, while Chase is on his way to spare the 10th. Spare for Chase. He's gonna make a 2-10 game, and that's gonna give him a score of 45 over. On the streaming now, we can see Andrew Hall, as we said, 52 over. Chase is going to be on 45 over with the strike. And also in this pair, we can see Moritz sitting down with 69 over. In a few seconds, we will try to refresh. Now, we'll have to wait, because it's a little bit of delay on lanes 11 and 12. I just realized. The guys over there have 1 frame to go. Okay. That puts Justin on being last to shoot. Iron solid for Justin over there. Very shiny. So probably it's a little bit sensitive to friction and too wet. It could be a little bit over under, while the middle lane still not dry enough. And it's sad to see also here in 11 and 12 another couple of splits and open frames for Carl Walgren. He's trying and trying, but he doesn't really seem to find the right solution. Just showing up, I see by chance that Nora and Torre are gonna bowl on lane 10. So, oh, look at that super late 10 falling for Nora on lane 10. As I was saying, we were having a look at how that third game was ending for the bowlers on lanes 11 and 12. And it just happened to be that Torre and Nora are going to bowl in this pair. So we're going to have a look at them in the meantime. And while we wait to be able to refresh the scores and give you a proper update after 3 games. All right, just a frame to go, and I've got great news. It looks like we're going to be with a guest again. It's going to be some fun, and welcome back, buddy. I'm going to let you know who's sitting down here. One of my favorite guys up here. Not only fun to chat with him about anything, but especially interesting to talk about bowling. He's a young pal, but he already sees the game like almost like a senior, like a proper senior, old school trained bowler. Dan Harding, welcome back, buddy.
What's up, guys?
How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Just chilling. Just got back. I'm going to play tonight at 7 p.m., so just going to put my stuff. How's the scores looking?
Looking pretty good, actually. We had a little bit of shiny game 3. It looks like this time the transition was paying out pretty well. On the contrary, game 2, as you can see, some of the people that was doing okay, they've dropped down. Tour started super high with 258, but then shot 190. Raymond T started with 240, but then shot 190. The same thing for Lennis Lindhart down there on the number 6. And on the opposite, we find Mike Ong with 180, but then 247. And the same thing for Daniel Berner, 180 and then 247. But this last game, which actually think we cannot refresh yet because these guys are still bowling. But there was on lanes 9 and 10, like I actually told Daniel, our tournament boss, to keep me a spot on any squad on lane 9 and 10 because they shot 279, 279, 259. And there was a poor guy that shot to 10 and is going to pay beers for everybody on that pair.
Most definitely, most definitely. Honestly, 9 and 10 are probably one of the nicest pairs. I've had that twice this week, and I've averaged like 240 on there. So.
All right, so that's the pair I want to be in.
I think everybody wants to play their 6 games on 9 and 10. They'll be happy.
I think I want to play on 9 and 10, but I think I want to play 7 games because the way the scores are going, I want to make sure I have a chance.
Well, you say that, but the scores after 2 aren't as big as they have been recently. Like yesterday, there was a couple 500s in after 2, and
yeah, but that's what I was telling you. Game 2 paid out a little bit lower than it had been doing lately, but suddenly game 3, where usually they go a little bit lower, this time it went pretty high. Let's have a quick see if we can refresh already because they just ended their game, and maybe we are lucky enough to get the scores after 3. No, we need another 10 seconds. We need the score to jump.
It seems like the the scores haven't, like, minus like a couple of the guys. It seems like the scores haven't been crazy this squad. Seems are they a little tighter? Are they hooking a little bit more? I've literally just come back, so.
I honestly believe it's hooking a little bit more because I saw people like, for example, Raymond. He started further outside than he did yesterday, but he moved deeper much quicker than he did yesterday. Torre was bowling pretty far outside and he moved a little bit deeper quite quick also. And some of the guys I was following in previous squads standing around 9-ish, 10, they are already on 12, 13, a little bit sooner than it did, they did on previous squads.
Fair enough, fair enough. How's Nora getting on? This is her first squad, right?
She's bowling her first squad. She started with a 210 game, then she got lost on game 2. The same thing was for Tori. Game 2 was a little bit lower and a little bit more tough for them to play, but game 3 they did pretty good. She shot 250 something on game 3, and she should be somewhere with 40 over already. Yeah, there we go. Now we got the scores updated. You see they jumped up a little bit for some of the guys. So top 10 on game 2, it was only 10 bowlers at par. So it had dropped down a little bit. Now I see top 10 is already 40 over. So as you can see, quite many high games on this game 3. I'm just going to read game 3. 278, 236, 238, 223, 259, 247, 253, 247, 208, 210, 247. So game 3 was a little bit higher than on some of the other squads. And the update now at the moment is Mike Ong from Singapore is currently leading the squad with 111 over. Then on number 2 we have the classic of the classics, Tori Torkesen with 684. Number 3 we find Moritz with 69 over. Raymond Tees is 4th, 59 over. Then we find Jessica, she's bowling pretty good, very consistent. 653. Andrew Hall 52 over. Nora 642. Saskia bowling pretty good as well. 641. Then we find Chasey and Dennis 41 and 40 over, and let's say 11 because it's on the screen. Mr. James Blomgren 631.
Seems like they're quite close together.
Yeah, yeah. And now on the screen we still have Nora, we still have Tori, we have James Blomgren, we have Andrew Hall. So that's quite a good screen to stay on. The one that was testing a lot of things was Andrew Anderson. I see him trying different balls, different lines, giving up some spares also to take a strike shot instead.
Just test squad. This is his first squad.
It's a test
I'm sure
squad,
it'll be a test.
definitely.
I always will say it, and I do believe it. Tor is the example of you never lose class. That skill. I've always got told stories from my coach about him. You never lose class if you're that good.
No, and to be honest, it was one of the things I said at the beginning of the squad, that I wanted to keep an eye on him, explain a little bit our history and how he was one of the idols on my teenage years. And I said it that way: once you learn to ride a bike, you never forget it.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Let's see if we can take that 247. Sorry, 2410. Hook. Oh, hook too much. All right, an open frame there for Ture, but he really can strike when he finds.
Raymond on 19 and 20 is a front four, I believe.
Yeah, actually, I told Raymond when he was at the warm-up, I explained again. Last year, actually, I know both Raymond and Richard, but I always had a much closer relation with Raymond and Richard. But the funny thing is that I always keep calling Raymond Richard, especially on the streaming.
They look nothing alike, though.
I know, but tell my brain, is a little bit here and there. The thing is, yesterday when he shot that 300 game, I called him Richard a couple of times.
Oh, get back to it.
So I said to him, you only did a lot of striking when I was calling you Richard. So if I see you're not bowling very well, I'm gonna start calling you Richard again, and see how it works for you. He was laughing, obviously.
Yeah, he struggled towards the end there yesterday, but he looks like he's getting back to it and a lot better this squad, so that's good. James, probably one of the only lefties in this block, I think.
There are not so many, that's true. This squad is particularly filled with right-handers, and not that many two-handers either on this squad. Shall we have a look around? Because I think we have Andrew Anderson on 1 and 2, so we can see a little bit what he's doing over there. He's bowling with Chasey on lane 2 as well.
That's a pretty good pair, Chase and Andrew, and Timmy McNeil. Timmy McNeil's pretty good from America. I think he's a PBA regional / semi main tour player.
The name sounded familiar, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
when one of those names that I can really put it.
Can't put a face to
No,
the name.
no,
Yeah,
exactly.
But no, he's pretty good. He's a part of Motu, actually. I saw him throw in the shadow tank, and in practice, and I actually said, I thought to myself, I was like, how is he making that hook? Like, my ball went straight.
Yeah.
Is it surface? Is it just because he has more rev rate?
Is it acetone?
Is it skill?
Obviously, the acetone is a joke because, you are from Europe like I am, so you know what goes on in some of those southern countries.
Southern? No, just the whole of Europe.
Everywhere already now with the acetone?
Not anymore. I think they check those now. I think that's illegal still. But yeah, it gets very.
Well, let me tell you, it got to a point where some of them I ended up asking, but are you going to bowl or are you going to play basketball with that ball?
It did get like that at some points. I remember someone doing a hardness check on one of my purples, and it was way below. Like this was after I saw Motive, after 78 stuff came out. I think it was sat at like 56.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was low.
So, so that ball goes in the gutter and it jumps back.
And strike still, yeah. I don't know what Tommy McNeil was throwing there, but that looked very right.
It was quite clean and went pretty far right, yeah?
Yeah. 1 and 2 for some reason. They do like to hook. I found that on the pair yesterday, last night. When I got a good game. Now I had 240, and I was really able to open my lane up and really use that sort of angle.
They, in a way, they feel like they play a little longer, but actually they like it when you grip it a little bit more. That's how it felt.
There's a little bit of hold to the left and the inside. So I felt like I actually had a.
And maybe that's what I felt. And not that it's longer, but it was a bit more of a hold.
I think.
But definitely it felt like the ball was not wanting to jump that early as some of the other pairs did.
No, that's true. That's very true. I think pace, like as much as it sounds quite strange, I don't think you need. I think throwing it slow can be a really big harm, because granted you got to get through the front part of the lane, but if you throw it also too hard, like it's a bit of a contradiction by the sounds of it. But there's like a sweet spot with reactive. Like I don't know about your thing, because obviously I'm not throwing a black hammer, but there is like a sweet spot where all of a sudden you have about 10 boards of room to throw reactive.
And when you give 10 boards to this kind of bowlers, it's a big room.
Yeah. Well, if you have 10 boards, it feels like 10 boards. It might be only 5, but
Yeah,
honestly,
well, I mean, okay.
when you feel that comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Kirsty.
Yeah, the same thing
I
as.
think he's still throwing the shadow, you know, which is quite strange. Like I've not seen anyone throw a shadow
for quite some time.
For 4 games at least.
How was the party? Just joking with our beloved owner of the house, because he's been working around and he has to say hello to so much people that his face looked like he's been in Ibiza for 3 weeks. Oh, that was pretty close to get the spare over there. Okay, let's see. Do we have anybody doing any?
19 and 20,
yeah, that's what I was trying to find out. If we had some strikes going on here and there. Yeah, but that's very typical. That's the video camera jinx. As soon as you go there and see somebody.
There's Alvin as well. Alvin's doing pretty good. 9 miss, 5 in a row. That covers his 9 miss pretty well.
I was going to say, it was good that you managed to say it was 5 in a row right after, because he's doing very good. 9 miss. He's like, oh, well, he usually goes for 6 and 1, or.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having 9 miss, 5 in a row, to be honest.
I wouldn't mind either, because then it would be a
bit of a cover.
I changed my way of bowling and stop sparing and start striking.
Yeah.
You did pretty good sparing yesterday, I must say. It was very nice to see how you missed like 3 or 4 single pins.
I thought about trying to travel somewhere to find a training session. It was not good. I think what it was simply a simple error of my swing getting a little steep and not letting me. I was using a little bit of muscle to get down at the end, so I should have probably just relaxed a little bit more in my spares. And towards the end, it got a lot better. Still at 13-34, which gives me a lot of hope.
I guess it can happen sometimes also when you're so focused on trying to find what really strikes. Not just the strike, but to really strike, because you want to make 2 or 3 very high games. And spare is so granted that you may lose a little bit of the focus because you're already with your brain on the next shot.
Yeah, I think it's taking my time a little bit more and just breathing better. I think definitely seeing spares, like yesterday, I missed 5, right? Oh yeah, 5 and 6 games is not good enough. Even though I had 13-34, right, which is probably a pretty good squad to test and find things, and I've realised what I need to do. It tells you that, okay, if I spared those 5 spares, and a lot of them came off of having 3 in a row or 4 in a row, that's what, 20 pins, 30 pins you've lost there?
Yeah, probably 40.
And maybe even 40, right? And that's just a simple case of silly mistakes.
Yeah.
And best, always critical on that stuff. You can't miss your spares. You cannot miss your spares. And if you miss your spares, then you're in deep trouble.
No, especially when you're fighting with the best bowlers in the planet. You don't want to give up any pin.
No, exactly, and that's why when you look at watch the PBA and stuff, and you see their like stats on 10 pins and stuff, and it's almost 97%. That's over like 30 games or how many games they play in the week, and it's almost like, wow, okay, that's a skill level.
And that is one of the things. Even last year, I remember we spoke about it, especially when Jesper was here, and the same thing when Kyle was here. And I don't remember who else. Probably Frankie Lawau is also very good on the spare game.
Super good.
Talking to the kids watching the streaming, that how many superstars do you see sparing going back up and doing strange things? They
Honest,
keep it simple. They go straight. They take the spares and go for the next frame.
I believe if you risk your chances trying to back up and things like that on every single pattern as well, one time it will catch you out and that'll cost you a big show. And I think I definitely have always thought to myself, oh, what about if I do hook at them? And then I do it and I miss. I'm like in practice, and I'm like, well, I'm never doing that again, just because it's too risky. It's not a good idea to go hook at them, in my opinion, anyway.
I believe the cause of that is in today's bowling we have so many house patterns that they are set in every bowling alley, and when these kids learn to bowl, they don't start bowling in hard patterns. They start bowling in this kind of easy patterns. So when they throw that backup spare shots, because they have such a big room like they do on strike, they think that's going to work. And then when they put them on a real pattern and they miss 3 to the left to spare the 10-pin backup, of course the ball ends up on the 5-pin instead.
And they don't try to go straight next. They will just slow down even more and hope. I just think that it's a massive guess if your ball's going to hook or not. I think going straight cancels out all the issues. I go straight almost 90% of my spares. It's just simple. Even though I missed 5 yesterday, that was the first 5 I've missed in about 6 months. So that's bad.
Yeah. We should have a look also at Mike. Mike is doing really good on this squad. He's striking all over again. We see a strike, spare, and 4 in a row. Bowling on lane 5 and 6. He's actually going to take his shot on lane 6. And his last 2 games has been 247 and 278. We're going to have to see what he can do in this game. Let's see.
Purple, throwing a little bit left at the back.
He's going a little bit in a more tighter line than he was doing the first squats, and it's paying out so good for him.
He's throwing it a little bit more firm by the looks of it, and he's trying to really get through the ball. And I think that's the thing, right? When everyone says, "Oh, I'm gonna hit it harder," they do it the wrong way, and sometimes they try and lift their arm up and really use their wrist. Where to get it, you've got to get through it faster, and you can actually still be really smooth getting through it faster. So Mike Ong is really good at that.
And it's sad to see how Carl is still fighting and fighting today. It's not being an easy squat for him so far. He had so many splits on the first 3 games, and so many times this kind of reaction where the ball is ending in the middle of the head pin.
I think that's possibly just speed, though. Trying to create so much angle with such strong pearl bowling balls. Creates so much.
It's
angle.
so sensitive.
Exactly.
You have so much over under.
He's a very good spare shooter. Carl is very good spare shooter.
I don't know. That's one of the things I really felt the other day. I don't think this particular pattern and shape. There's a couple of things. I felt it doesn't really pay out. One is going around the ball. It doesn't like it when you spin it. It's very sensitive. It's working or paying much better when you go a little bit more forward roll than the typical side shot. And the other one is aggressive pearl balls. They are giving you so much over under reaction.
Yeah.
You stay inside, they go way too long, then you send it a little bit out to the friction. They have that jumping spot that becomes a little bit too strong.
Yeah, agreed. I think that definitely what you said in the first place with like the ball seeing the lane too far right and not wanting to hook and things like that with the pearl stuff is definitely a thing. So I think it's depending on what sort of time through the game. Like I found that more later in the squad, I can actually.
No, yeah, of course. But
Obviously.
I'm talking more or less on the
fresh.
terms of strategy, fresh and early transition. Once the lane open up, then it's the same. It doesn't matter if it was a flat pattern, if it was a house shot. Once it's open, it's open. Everything is the same in today's game.
Like today.
Use the area, send it out there, and
Exactly that.
that's
and,
it.
And today, tonight, I'm gonna go for a little risky move here. I'm gonna go with reactive from game one. Not gonna risk my urethane. I just don't have a good look with it. I can only shoot 210 with it. So
That means I'm a risky bowler because I don't even bring everything.
yeah, but you've always been risky, haven't you, Louis?
We're gonna die eventually, so if I die, I don't want to have a purple ball in my box.
In my head, I'm like, well, if you don't risk it, what are you doing here?
I want to have a reactive ball in heaven. When I go to heaven, if they only let me go in with one ball, it has to be a reactive.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Otherwise, I'll never have a messenger ever again in my whole eternity.
Something like that. How's Ray getting on? He's struggled on sparing a little bit, but he's had 5 in a row, 6-3 strikes, 7-2 strikes. So he can max out for 230.
Let's see if we can find, besides Mike, we have Mike already on the screen now. He was the squad leader, but I want to see what's going on with Toure.
Tour is having 3 in a row going into the 10th frame.
Where is Toure sitting now?
He's on
Lanes.
9-10. There we go.
Oh, there you go. So he had an open frame, but again, he finds his way to clean the game at the end. He can strike out for 225. I said to Noel that my betting on Toure was 1370.
Ooh, that's a great spare from James. Great spare. He's a great spare shooter. He's someone who does like to hook a little bit, but he's very good with it.
And as you can see now, the replay was properly played, and that's because my great buddy Victor is back on track. Man, you don't want to know how much of a mess I did with the buttons. Every time I tried to do a replay, it was way too early, so we could only see the release, but never what happened in the pins. So you have to teach me a little better next time. But the rest I did quite okay. It was quite on the spot.
So Tor is throwing reactive.
He started with reactive. He started with a concept. We
Ah.
are the classics. Why would we?
Yeah.
Why we
Stevie-
don't? We don't
Stevie
need
said the
your
same
thing.
thing. Steve said the same thing. I spoke to him last night, and obviously he grew up with you and Tora. And he goes, just watch, just throw reactive, man. Like if you really are confident in it, throw it because you'll score more than you probably will with urethane. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you to grab that pearl ball that's gonna make you go crazy. But if you put a solid ball with a little bit of surface and you just bowl a little bit, wait, that was very deep inside. You just bowl kind of a safe zone in a safe way. You just get a couple of doubles, 215, 215, and then when it opens up, as you
Score
said,
runs.
you got that big room down there.
Mhm.
It just becomes a carry contest.
I'm looking at possibly doing what I did that first squad with the spare ball in the first 8
Do a
minutes.
little bit of hole on the
Little bit of
inside.
hold on the
Mhm.
fresh, just so I can throw it there and watch it hook. And then if I do miss a little left, which I shouldn't do, I'll have a little bit more room.
But at
right?
least you got that extra room
exactly
that you made on the warm-up. In case somebody doesn't really know what we're talking about, I'll quickly and briefly explain. When Dan was making his warm-up the other day, I was passing by, looking around as I like to do before I sit down on the chair. I like to see the action live during the warm-up, so I have a better idea where everybody is bowling and everybody's standing. And what happened is Dan spent the first 5-6 minutes throwing spare balls, but or throwing the spare ball, not on the inside, not practicing any spare. It was actually throwing, pretty much, I would say, throwing the 3-pin, a couple of boards or 3 boards deeper than the main area you were going to use later on for striking shots. And what he was actually doing was trying to push the oil a little bit longer on those 3 boards inside his target. So whenever the game started, he would have a little bit of extra room to miss inside. In case you miss inside, you make sure that the ball's going to hold and it's not going to jump into the nose of the head pin. That's pretty much what you were doing.
Yeah, it pretty much allows me to bring a urethane sort of shim quicker into the game because obviously how fast spare balls push the lane, stretch the oil. So it will allow me to kind of create a good look with reactive, right? But I didn't start with reactive last time. I started with the shadow tank and it saw the lane way too early. So I'm probably going to stick a 2000 on the lethal venom, which I was throwing yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to throw it like I did at a event previous. Pretty similar pattern actually. Victor was there actually, he was at Summon Drug. Um, I'll probably play there and just kind of throw it a little bit firmer if I have to. And I would rather take a rattle 10 pin than splitting, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely.
I'll take that happy all day.
Because you're not going to be sparing like you did the day before, so
No,
that's
no.
a better idea to
In
get
theory,
there.
I'm gonna have 6 games of 0 spares
No,
and
yeah.
all strikes.
No, I don't. My bet is you have no misses today.
That would be really nice.
You got them all yesterday, and that's it. That's a good, smart thing to do. Get rid of all the mistakes on day one, and then you're free for the rest of the week.
Exactly. Sleep a lot.
Another small piece of information for those who have a little bit less of knowledge on bowling balls. The fact that you choose one of the balls in the Bantam line, it's a little bit we can compare with those IQ lines on the Storm line with a little bit
Yeah.
medium differential, not very low RG, not very high differential, a little bit more of a in a control-based medium flare, we could say.
Yeah, it's probably closer to the IQ sort of range. But the Lethal Venom has the Sub-Zero cover,
Uh-huh.
so it's probably closer to a Phase 2.
Okay, so it has a little bit more of strength in the chemistry
ASIM core as
on
well.
the skin.
Asymmetrical core, so it sees the lane a little bit earlier as well.
So it could be a little bit an Ion Pro, a Tour
Yeah.
Dynamics. I love that Tour
Yeah.
Dynamics. That was magnificent.
It
Magnificent.
did look good, and a little bit of surface, like a 2000. Don't want to go too heavy with it,
Mhm.
so I can still create this angle. I think that would be perfect for what I'm seeing personally anyway, because obviously I throw it quite differently to most of these guys out here anyway. I throw it a little bit closer to what the America guys do.
You throw it beautiful, let me tell you.
Um,
It's one of those guys, it's nice to see
Yeah.
when you're bowling.
I can
It's
only-
not that many. I could tell you the opposite. It's a lot of bowlers here that they can strike like forever,
Yeah,
but not all of them I would spend time watching.
that's fair enough. It's quite tough to do so. Like for me, for instance, right, it's quite hard to compete against these two-handers out here with urethane. This is the first event in a long time, in about a year or so, that I've said, okay, I'm actually going to be able to compete. And that's just because of how short it is. And it's not because I haven't got the rev rate or anything like that. It's more the case of just how the urethane is shimming and stretching the pattern so much. And they love playing on 44 feet.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So these guys are out here trying to for urethane in game 5 probably now. Andrew Anderson is on lane 5 and 6 now. He's going to be quite interesting to watch. He's in reactive. I think he's in any phase 2.
He has been in reactive since the end of game 2. He tried some with the IQ78 at the beginning, somewhere around 8-9 in the arrows, sending it out around 4-5 in the breakpoint. He didn't really find anything that was working a lot. Then he did a very short attempt with the pitch black, the new pitch black, but it was a little bit of the same. Then he moved deeper. I believe it was 1 or 2 shots. He tried either the concept or the iron solid with a little bit of surface. I wasn't sure because of the lightning. And then soon he moved to that one, and that's the ball I've seen him throwing a little bit more consistently and for at least a couple of games now.
I think that, honestly, personally, and I can only base it off of our urethanes, right? The Shadow versus the Lethals, the Evoke Exterior, things like that. Reactive looks so much better for us. Maybe when EJ turns up and AJ turns up, they'll be able to play the right way. Us other guys can probably learn and play the same way. But
Maybe Ethan. Is Ethan coming this year?
is Ethan coming this year?
Ethan is coming.
Ethan could be a very good one as well. He really likes running the Sub-Zero Forge and this sort of stuff, he says. I spoke to him out in the States. I think there's some good scores that are there to be got with reactive, along with urethane. But I just think that the lanes are getting very tight, and the scores are showing that. And I think soon when the update happens, we'll be able to see that. Ray's on 75 over after 4.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
It was a very funny game for him. A lot of strikes, and everything that was no strike was either 6-3 or 7-2. So no spares on that game. Managed to do 216 with 8 strikes, actually.
He has 2 games to shoot 2. He can go back to back 250, and yeah, it's probably enough to make the cut there. As of yesterday, I'm sure he knows what to do because he had back to back. He had a 300, right? So I'm sure he knows how to get that score.
The only thing I saw different from him, I commented earlier, he started a little bit further to the right than he did yesterday. But he definitely moved deeper than he moved yesterday.
I think I think what it is these urethane players are trying to start as straight as possible, so they have as much room as possible in the free friction. But what I've noticed as well is everyone's gone into reactive. They're trying to play the lane really long, and I think that you've got to actually kind of throw it at the gutter a lot more and be confident that it's going to hook. Like Nora there, she played it pretty good. She got it to the right early. She's playing a little straighter than the other
Yep.
guys.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know how he's throwing the ball now, but I was very impressed by the way he was bowling this pattern, and that was one of the senior bowlers, Oscar Bromstrom, bowling on lane 1 now at the moment. Let's see if he's doing the same line, because by the way he was standing on the approach, I said he's bowling around 15, 16, but fuck, he was throwing it on 12. The ball was looking all the way to the gutter, and it was bouncing back like almost the bumpers were standing
Oscar
up.
has some pretty good tricks in his bag.
And it was quite impressive to see.
His son as well, Elvis Bromstrom, he's pretty good two-handed. He's just gone out to the States. This is Robin Pearson. He's playing quite straight as well, playing quite down lane. Pretty good.
Let's see, because as we said before, 1 and 2, they seem to play a little bit different than the rest of the house.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see what Oscar is actually doing now on 1 and 2. If anyone watching and doesn't know Oscar, don't expect to see any style like Amleto Monacelli or something like that. It's old school, even using a wrist support. But man, look at where he's standing. It looks like he's going to send it on 4. It's still send. No, he's not sending it. Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't send it to where he was looking for sure.
Maybe he stuck a little bit as he second the approach.
So there was nothing to see there. But I tell you, the first shot I saw, I was like, "Ooh, he's in the gutter!" And then the ball, bang! It jumped back, and I was like, "Wow."
That's pretty cool.
Okay, let's see if we can have the scores updated once more after 4 games. We have Mike Hong still on a league of his own on a league of his own. That was a very bad joke.
Very old man's joke, isn't it?
Very Spanish, by the way. That's my passport talking this time.
Yeah.
So Mike Ong, 955 games of 186, 247, 278, 244. Yeah, and then we have the classic Tore Torgersen, 895 with games of 258, 190, 236, 211. Then we find Raymond Thies, 875. Number 4 is Moritz, 870. Find Andrew Hall on the 5th place with 64 over. Paul Purps is 53 over. Chase Nader, 52 over. Oscar, the guy we were talking about on lane 1 and 2, sitting down with 42 over. Dennis Linhart, that's the man that shot to 10 on that game where everybody shot to 70. So he has to pay a lot of beers today. Number 10, we find Nura with 831, and 11 still once more James Blomgren with 827.
I think that the drop in between Mike Ong and Torres says a lot about the centre right now. Because Mike is very aggressive compared to a lot of these bowlers in the top 10 and 11.
Yep.
With his hand. I think that being 60 in front of second shows that maybe urethane is the right move for this squad to a degree. It could be just shot making.
It could be, yeah. It could be that he's just so good that he finally got his spot and making it work. It could be also he just found what to do, because we saw that same thing happening yesterday with Marcus Johnson. He bowled 4, 5, 6 squads. He was never really finding what to do until that last squad. It worked really good for him. 250 over.
Yeah, no, I was actually on that pair. I was with him on the whole squad.
Okay.
So I was pretty blessed in that sense. Half the time I was in shock because I was like, okay, well that's going to go round the back in 2-8-10 or 2-10, and it hooked, and I was like, oh, okay, well my urethane don't do that. It was very, very good. And then he switched into reactive in about game 3 or 4. He had a little low one, and then he moved in game 6, and that's when he had that 280 or 270 or whatever he had. He was showing a Sigma.
The Sigma.
A Sigma, and he was really far left, and he was really creating an angle.
That ball is quite angular, isn't it?
Yeah, he's super good, Marcus Janssen. we spoke a little bit after the squad and some ideas and whatever, and he says just give what you think a try, and we talked about surfaces and such, and it looked pretty good to be fair. Say it again.
The original Sigma.
The original Sigma.
I had a couple of those in the shop.
Were they any good?
Different.
Hooked way too much out, Daniel. But you have too much rev rate.
Are you playing again, Daniel? No? Not in the whole week? Yeah.
He wants money.
That was a bit inconsistent shot there for Andy Anderson on lane 6. Lost a little bit his balance when he was about to release it. That could be the reason behind that, a little bit of bad shot. Let's see what Tori can do on lane 5. His fatigue start to show up. After all, it's not that he's not in shape. It's not that he's not taking care of his body. It's not that I'm calling him an old person, even if he's older than I am. It's just that he hasn't bowled since April, so he's probably gonna feel some kind of a fatigue, or a little bit of feeling tired after already bowled 4 games. And obviously, even if he's not really actually feeling any pressure, but when you have been such a big bowler like Torre has been, even if you show up for fun, you still want to do okay. So you kind of put your own pressure on yourself.
No, of course. Steve said the same thing. Like every time Tori used to go out, everyone was like, "Okay, what's Tori gonna do? Okay, Tori's had that. We're gonna have 20 below Tori because that's just how the tournaments apparently went every time."
Yeah, back then it was a little bit like that. It was, let's see what Thomas, Tori, and team are doing, and then we can see the rest of the spots we share between all the rest.
I'm gonna do my best next year. I'm gonna try and bring Stevie out to this.
That would be great. That would be great.
It'll be quite cool to maybe have.
I'm not sure if he's listening or watching by, but if in any case he does, or someone out there, before Daniel talks to him, let him know that we are waiting with very, very open arms. It would be very good to see him again. Sending my best regards. Stevie's been many, many years, but a lot of good memories.
Yeah, these guys are legends of the game in Europe. Legends. It's quite interesting though. The scores are very slow this block. Some are scoring, some are having some big scores, but very like the spares are coming out by the looks of it, and some of the pairs. Could be just pair. There's one, I think it's Max Lorenz.
Max Lorenz has a spare and 5 in a row.
Yeah, he's having a pretty good game.
He has quite a solid technique, I must say. I call him a little bit the German Robin Illamar. He reminds me a little bit, kind of this strong body, short backswing, powerful release.
I'll be honest though, the one thing that this week I've really noticed is how slow the bowling is.
How slow then?
Like the crosses are.
You have to spend more time with us down there in Spain, so when you come up here it feels it's fast.
Oh, if you see here, these guys are on what, frame 7, and the next pair on frame 3.
Yeah, that is the one thing. Some of them are waiting for way too many lanes. It's like they're gonna make 300 shot every time. You know, I need the whole alley for myself.
I understand 2 lanes, to the left, to the right, but
yeah, but 3 or 4 is like.
it's quite a lot.
They should use this kind of, this thing they put on the horses.
Oh yes, yeah.
I don't.
Blinders, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the name is, but
Here comes Max now.
let's have a look at him on lane 30. It looks like he's on a reactive ball. Yeah, that looks like a reactive.
It seems like every time they are in reactive, they do throw it pretty hard. I'm not too sure if that's by idea or they just missed the shot. But they do seem to
I couldn't
gas
tell.
it a lot harder, throw it a lot harder after getting into reactive.
I'm not even sure if it's really that you can see it, or the fact that these balls compared to the surfaced urethane balls, because they have the tendency to go 10 feet longer no matter what, your eyes catch it much cleaner and faster than when they do exactly the same with the urethane.
That's very true.
It could be that. or it could be a little bit of both. That was quite in the gutter. That was a really bad carry.
Wonder how Mike Hong's getting on now. What lane's he on?
Mike is on 1 and 2. He's got a double and clean so far. Same thing for Oscar. A couple of doubles for Robin Persson, who was bowling pretty good. I don't see anyone else. Yeah, perhaps Justin Urbano on lane 19 and 20 is doing some strikes. And we're going to watch at this replay because look at what happened at that spare. Look at that, and that's why Victor is here, because if I had to catch up, I probably would have pressed the button, but we would have only seen the release again. So you actually mark it after the release, or... And I was doing it when they released the ball, that's why. Okay. Makes sense.
Seems like lanes 1 and 2 look pretty nice. Oh, it's a bit too short. But Oscar, Robin, and Mike Hong, and up until then, Nicky?
Mike.
Lanes 1 and 2 look pretty good.
That's Nicky a little bit like
Yeah,
that.
until then, that pair looked pretty good with a couple of doubles and spares. Looks quite clean. Maybe he might spare this.
Looking good. No, it didn't never hook, but that was the direction.
Oy.
Very late 10 for Carl over there. He sent the ball a little bit too far out. It became a little bit flatter on the backhand reaction. That's why we saw a very late 10.
One of his 10 messengers of the year. He does like his strikes going 10 man, doesn't he, Victor? Doesn't want to risk anything. Still throwing purple.
Ooh.
Ooh. That was a lucky man. Now, would you say that's urethane reason, or would you say maybe just a bad shot?
I would say he missed too deep inside for a urethane ball, and the ball never has any power to create any angle in the back, so it hits the 5-pin so light that the 5-pin has never any chance to hit the 7, and because of the flat entry angle, the 10 had never any chance. So if it had been a couple of pounds lighter, it's a 5-7-10.
Yeah, and on the lane 1, you just saw Robin, maybe a little bit too much energy in the ball, and he's stone 9. The ball went very sideways towards the end there. He's throwing bionic.
And Robin is throwing it better and better every time I see him.
Yeah, he trains a lot. He's very good. His spare shooting is great as well, I believe. Cole Vaughan's playing a lot better this game. Two nice spares, double spare, double.
Okay, let's have a look besides Mike on where he
Lanes
had...
9 and 10 has a 280 possibility.
I told you 9 and 10 is the lane to go.
Yeah.
It's where I'm bowling my next squad. Whenever it is.
That's a good shot from
I'm just gonna leave my balls there.
Yeah, just say, this is my pair now.
Just drop them there, huh?
This is the only pair that I'm allowed.
This
No
is
one
my
else is
pair.
allowed.
As soon as somebody doesn't show up, I'm gonna put my
Okay.
shirt on, my shoes, and bowl in there.
Your 3 bowling balls.
So on first game I'm bowling on lane 9, second game on lane 10,
Mhm.
game 3 on lane 9.
Nice.
It sounds like a plan.
Mm.
The only thing, if it doesn't work, then I have no excuses left.
Yeah, I think then I'll fly home. I wouldn't come back. I'll be like,
I don't even do the rest of the stream and just go
yeah,
home.
Just go home back to Spain.
Hide my head under the pillow for 6 months. Okay, we look at Daniel on lane 9 trying to get one more strike.
Great
And
shot.
good. He didn't get any problems with the curse of the camera looking at the striking. Because usually when someone has a lot of strikes and we pay attention to it, the streak just suddenly breaks.
Nate Purchase arrives tomorrow. That'll be good. Nice to see another American turn up.
I actually have to take Nate and do another cool picture like the one we did last year.
Yeah, I saw
That looks very good. Every time I see it and shows up somewhere, like look at that one. That was a pretty cool picture. I think it's also because he's a pretty cool guy, even the way he
Yeah.
disguises and
Lots of energy.
his body movements, and so it's like kind of it's a mix of a American football player and a rapper, all wrapped up in a Latino American guy. It's like I don't know. I love the guy. It's very funny.
Yeah, he's very good.
So let's see how it keeps going for that Daniel with all those tracking going on. Where's Torre, by the way? I forgot. He was bowling somewhere.
Torres on 5 and 6.
5 and 6 and still surviving. Open frame again on frame on. Then double, 7 spare, double, 7 spare strikes. So I'm guessing if he carries it like that, it's going to be another strike. So let's see. Oh, quite deep inside for Torre already. That was really deep inside. That really was deep inside. Did you see?
Yeah, no. It was good. It was very good.
He's
Very
he's
interesting.
going younger. When he's going that deep inside, that means he's going younger.
You always love that, man.
I haven't seen him that deep since he was 30.
Jason Nadeau's playing pretty good on lanes 17 and 18. He's just had his 5th in a row. Also in reactive.
So Mike's gonna stay even a little bit more ahead to the rest of the field on this game. Torre is trying to do his best to not to lose too many pins. And Raymond, where is Raymond? Yeah, Raymond has got a spare and a double, an open frame, and he just doubled again. In case someone's wondering, Raymond is on lanes 15 and 16. He's currently on 3rd position for this squad. We just gave you the information for top 3. Mike Ong, Tori Togeson, and Raymond Tees. And here comes the noise again.
All you can ask for.
First time today, so I'm very glad. I am just going to say thank you to Jonathan, so everybody knows online, who fixed the sound for us. It sounds a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. Oh yeah, that was a big one. Over there for Maurice. He grabbed it so much, he even lost a little bit his balance.
Seems like some of the higher scoring players are leveling out a little bit, and some of the lower scoring players are scoring a lot more now. It's almost like a flip. I don't think it's going to be making much of a difference, but I think there's a lot more sparing going on in the higher scores.
The highest on this game was for Max Lorenz. He shot 269. That fixed his score a little bit, so now he's sitting on 70 over.
Mike Ong's going to have 144 on spare. Daniel is he's stepping up for 280 here.
Look at that! Oh, that was so close to get the
He's a great bowler, Kevin.
2-8-10 on 11.
That's pretty good.
That's a very good release, isn't it?
Very smooth.
Look at the hand position. Perfect.
Doesn't do too much with it. No strain.
Nah, you don't need more than that. You don't always need to go 700 RPM.
It's always fun though.
Yeah.
Mike Ong's 144 with a spare in the 8th. Chase Nadeau has just had his 6th in a row.
It's looking very strong now. As soon as he can put that ball in play and just send it out there, he looks like another bowler. He gets so much better.
Raymond Tees.
Ooh, solid 9 over there for
Stone
Raymond.
9. It's another strike. That's in the 11th for Daniel. One more for 280.
It's a beautiful hand position when he releases it. Especially for when you start going deep inside.
I think this game helps him quite a bit, this 280 game. In terms of score.
Not only is going to help him a lot, but the 280 game, it may give him a spot on the turbo on game 5. Yes.
Give him a chase for 260, is that?
259? No. 248.
Good break though for 9.
Yeah, it's a great game. 248 is always good.
And that's believe Daniel just had 280. He did. Daniel had 280 and just there. That puts him at 1054 for 5. So, as I say, the lower scoring players are now finding a way maybe.
Yeah, because actually we see him with 280. We saw also 269 for Max Lorenz, who was not really scoring that high before.
And if you now look at Mike Ong, which you should be going to after this spare from Chase, he's actually struggling to find shape with that urethane a little bit now. He's just 6th and he's having 160 if he spares this and going into the 10th, so he could break out for 200 dead.
And it's not one of those happy spurs, even less like that.
Ooh.
Okay, that hooked at the very end. I thought it was going to take just a 5. For a moment it looked it was not making it.
Yeah, Carl Vaughan has 215 that game. Puts him, I think, just 100 under.
And finally a clean game for him
Yeah,
with
clean
nothing but 9s and strikes.
So he's
No more
96
6 and
under
7s.
right now. Same as Timothy Tan, but they're both trying to really, one's trying to throw it really hard to the right and one's really looping the lane right. Wonder how Tora Torkson's getting on now. Tora finished 202, so he's 97 over after game 5.
The good thing for Torre is that he's a senior,
That would be helpful.
and that's going to open a big door for him because the seniors don't score that much and there are not that many. And from those that are going to be coming, I believe one of them, which is so good that probably going to make the cut without having to pick up the senior, which is Mika.
Oh, Mika's coming this year. That's great.
I've heard he's coming. I'm actually hoping he's going to come. He's a very good dear friend from many, many years. And I think he's one of the funniest persons ever once the tournament finishes.
Is he really?
He's a party animal.
Even though he's like
Mika has
50
been
odd?
Mika has been the go-go dancer in pretty much every party I've been the DJ on.
Oh,
He
okay.
jumps up there in the
Loves it.
any podium you give him, and he's gonna be dancing all night long.
That sounds great.
And he's dancing a little bit better than Donald Trump.
Oh.
He's the same kind of a old school. We move the arms the same way. We just do it with a little bit more of a
Little
style.
cross-trainer action.
We have a bit more of a style. And actually, give me an idea. Maybe I should find myself a similar week as Donald Trump this week, and while I'm playing some music, do the same arms movement. I mean, nobody can see me now. If they could see me, they would be laughing. All right, back to the action. No more nonsense for a few minutes.
Mike Kong stepping up there, trying to get 200.
Yeah, we have to see what Mike can do, but he's
so far ahead.
He's far ahead with
Gives him a chance.
155 over, but if he now makes 8 spare 9, that's 180 something. That drops down to 137 over, and that's already putting the pressure to have to shoot 240 in the last game, no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. The scores have leveled out on some lanes quite a bit, actually, around that 190 mark.
Raymond Tees was also with 75 over, and now he just made strike on the 9th. He needs to strike out for a game of 220.
It's a pretty good game going into the last one. I'm not sure how much that put him over by chance.
He's back on his regular pace, though. He's going to be the last one to end.
I think being quite far behind in time is not a good thing. But I don't know if there's a ruling about timing.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's a PBA event, so you have a certain amount of... you cannot be 5 minutes between shots.
Yeah, I know a couple guys.
Oh, look at that. Mike went for a reactive
Oh, wow.
on the 10th. He struck with a reactive.
That's a really risky move, and it paid off. By the looks of it.
But it looked really good. Actually, it looked really, really good.
The way the scores are going, I actually think that 1400 might be top 25. It won't be the cut.
Yeah, 1500, that would be a little bit too much.
1500, you might win qualifying, to be honest.
1500, you may sleep long on Sunday for sure. I'll tell you something. I shoot 1500, I don't even show up on Sunday.
Oh, you really have to.
It can only get worse. It can only...
You have to bowl to get your money.
Really?
I think so. I think that's the rules of most things.
I don't think so. I can show up, make one warm-up shot, and then just go away.
He's throwing that Intel core by the looks of it.
That was really bad on this one. As good as the previous shot looked, this one looked terrible. The only thing I saw different, it was perhaps one bore deeper than the previous one, so it catched a little bit of more of oil than the previous shot, went slightly longer. But the payout was terrible.
And now Mike Michael's had 189. So that
Yeah,
puts
that's what I
him-
was telling you. Now it drops you down to 144 over, and that you need at least 230.
Yeah, and if we go to lane 9 and 10, we've got Andrew Anderson. He's bowling pretty good. He's on front 3 right now. We've got Paul Perps and Tommy McNeil and Max Lorenz on that.
And
pair as
Max,
well.
that comes from 269 game, and that's lanes 9 and 10, which has been the bingo lottery lanes for this squad. Everybody's been scoring really high on 9 and 10.
There's Kevin Malink throwing reactive. On 190. Tommy McNeil, looks like it's a Sigma. Pretty good.
Mm.
Here comes Max.
Yeah, still it's hot reactive ball. That looks fantastic.
Very good. Very smooth bowler. A lot of power.
That's one of the things that, even if I understand perfectly the physics because I coach them, but it's still my eyes. How can a short swing produce so much more speed than when I have that fucking high swing?
Yeah, it's all in the legs, man. It's all in the
I
legs.
know, I teach that, but still, it's 10 years, maybe 8 years of two-handed bowling recorded in the system, and 4 years of regular one-handed bowling. So the
Yeah.
brain, even if it understands, it wants to.
Fight it.
Yeah,
Here comes Andrew Anderson throwing reactive.
beautiful shot. That
Great
was
shot.
a very beautiful release.
Getting dialed in now.
One of the most beautiful bowlers to see how he throws the ball and
Right.
does it. Very elegant, extremely elegant.
Ray Teese is having, I think that's 2-0. Yeah, 202 if he strikes in the last frame of game 5.
Reach is ending on 15 and 16, right?
Yep. Andrew Hall's striking a little bit towards the end there. Going a bit reactive.
On the way for 89 over if he strikes
Ooh.
out, and yeah, he gets
in there.
trip the 4 there.
Always like a little bit of a trip 4 pin every now and then. Looks like a tough pair. Max Lorenz strikes on 9-10 once again. From 4 in a row, along with Andrew Anderson on that pair.
9 and 10 is going to pay out high for sure. Beautiful strike there for Raymond Tees, but
Finished on 202.
just a 202 that put him on 77 over par. Andrew Hall, if it strikes, is going to be 89 over par. And all these guys need a very high game to end the squad if they want to make it
Shoot, it was 300 wasn't it?
profitable. Yeah,
Pretty close shot. Great for Andrew Hall.
that was beautiful. Perfect balance again. Let's go back to where we had Andrew with a very late
Ooh.
messenger.
Ran that one out.
Too late. Too late for me. I mean, for
Yeah.
the buttons, we catch that a little bit too late.
Let's see if Max Lorenz can do a little bit more convincing on the strike now.
Last shot he did on this lane was simply perfect. See if he does it again. A little bit more. Yeah, it was
Ooh.
slightly more to the right than the previous one, at least in my eyes. A little bit of a late 10. But striking going on again on the lanes of the bingo lottery. Lanes 9 and 10 paying out for free. You want to strike, just come and see. That was close.
Did you have that in your locker for a long time, the rhyming right there?
Which one?
The,
sen-
the
the
bingo,
sentence?
bingo, come and see.
No, it just came out.
Has that been in your phone for a little while? No.
It's the it's the caffeine kicking in, you know. As soon as I see my voices start to low down on my speech is becoming a little bit boring, I just go grab some caffeine and the nonsense activates itself.
Ah, okay. Comes Andrew Anderson on lane 10, making it front 6. Can.
That was a bit further.
Very sharp.
Perfect. Perfect. That looked amazing. Looked like it was maybe on board a little bit outside, but it looked really good on the pin action.
I wouldn't mind being on that pair for doubles.
So Paul Purps, short, light in the pocket.
Threw it pretty hard, that shot.
We call that pair La Casita in Spanish.
Like a seat.
La
And
Casita.
what does that mean?
That means the mini house because it has that triangle shape.
Okay.
I guess that explains why we don't score that much. We have weird names.
Is there a lot of Spanish coming for this year?
Actually, I think no Spaniard bowlers have bowled this event before, but this year I managed to bring a few of my students. I
Nice.
convinced them to come because they always tell me, no, but what are we doing there? We don't have the level. But I said, don't think about the level, it's the experience.
Just learning.
It's the atmosphere, it's bowling on a different pattern, it's sharing lanes with this kind of bowlers that you only see on TV for the rest of your life. And I think it's 4 or 5 of them coming, so it's going to be a wonderful experience for them. They even gonna attend Dine and Shine with the pros Wednesday night. All right, we're gonna have a score update after 5. Mike Ong on a league of his own with 11 and 44. Then we find Chase scrolling up to second spot on this squad with 100 over. Mr. Classic still in the podium with 97 over. That's Tori Torgersen. Number 4 is Andrew Hall, 89 over. Number 5, Paul Porps. Paul's going to be happy because he's bowling on 9 and 10, so he has a chance to use that pair to try to increase that scoring pace. Raymond Tees also on the screen at the moment, releasing the ball on lane 12. That was terrible
that's
break.
even
That was a
worse.
terrible break.
It's harsh.
1077 over par, so 77 over par for Raymond Tees on 6th place. Then we find Max Lorenz, who just shot 270.
He can have 279 this game as well, and here comes Andrew Anderson for 7. A little bit in.
And he carries. Number 8, Moritz, 55 over. Number 9, Daniel Borner, who just shot 280 and could, I think he currently is going to have the turbo on game 5, Daniel Berner, with that 280. And number 10, the local bowler, Robin Persson, who just crashed on game 3 with 168. But we were talking about him just a few minutes ago, bowling for the local team, getting better and better every time I see him. Honestly, his physical game looks better every time. So let's see how the action goes on for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Paul Perps just 6-pin in there, a little bit high in the pocket. Tommy McNeil here, also playing a little bit deeper overactive. That's a little 7-pin. Mike Ong on 17 and 18. He's doing pretty good. He's at a double right now so far.
And we find Chase also with a front 5.
Andrew Hall is at a spare on the strike now, looking pretty good. Even after a 186 first game, he's been super consistent until obviously game 5 he's at 189, but it looks like he's found his way back into that 250 range.
And also we can see he's
Just a little left.
still using that reactive he thrown the last couple of shots in the last game. So he's not going back to urethane for him. Remains on that reactive shot. And probably we could go back to lanes
Max Lorenz strikes.
9 and 10 and see what goes on, because not only they are striking a lot, but they are the pair that's more advanced in the game. So we're going to see how they do, and then we can scroll around for the rest of the game. Andrew, front 7 for the moment. Max Lorenz also. Only 1 9 spare, the rest is all strikes. A little short in the pocket there for Paul. That's going to leave him a split. But now we're going to see what Andrew can go on his 8th frame for this game. Okay, that was good. A little bit low in the upper body. If we look at him, see how he loses a little bit the balance. You see how the balance was a bit shaky compared to the previous shots. But he gets the strike. That makes it 8 in a row, front 8 for Andrew Anderson on game 6. And for my happy eyes, I see on lane 1 and 2, Mr. Tori Torgersen, front 4. Tori is still alive. He's 97 over for the first 5 games. He's gonna take a shot on lane 2. So we're gonna have a quick look at him, see if we are lucky to see a good shot from Ture. Come in, Ture.
Walks a little left.
That was pretty far left over there.
Andrew Anderson front 8. Oh.
Somebody bring Tori a coffee.
Alvin Kavarnstrom on front three and 1920. No, not 1920. Sorry, on 11 and 12. Mike Ong on 17, 18. 7 pins.
7 pin, a bit light. And we also saw a 10 pin for Max Lorenz. That's going to stop his chase for the 279. He drops down with striking out for a game of, let me see, 259. That would give him a maximum total score of 129 overs, so it's not going to be enough for Max Lorenz. We'll say it again that Mike Ong, even with 1144, he needs a game of at least 230 something, 230 and something to be kind of a little bit more relaxed, finding a spot in the final.
Here comes Andrew in the right frame. Tora opened in that 5th frame.
Oh, fuck. He froze on that
Comes
screen.
Andrew Anderson.
Oi, 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 oi. Do you have the replay on that then? Look at the hand position. Slightly.
A little slightly.
Yeah, a little bit different. A little bit different there. Back in the day, that was an A10. Back in the day with the balls we had before.
Really, you reckon?
That was an A10.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I'll put you an example. When I was very, very young and the first reactives came out, as I said before, I love to bowl in the gutter. And one of the trainings I used to do was try to lift the 6-pin on pocket shots so I could generate enough angle out there. Back then, it happened once every many, many, many shots. Nowadays, with the balls we have today, I've seen girls throwing the ball with like 4 reps, leaving the 6-pin on a pocket shot. That's how big of a difference the balls
Very big difference
today
right there.
to the ones we had back in the day. I mean, you grab today one Excalibur, one original Turbo X, one original
Sumo.
Sumo was urethane, but one of those
Yeah.
first reactive resin balls. And I bet you my life you would use them as a spare ball. They wouldn't hook.
Really?
No, they wouldn't hook.
I found it quite strange when I looked at the Sumo and I looked at its box finish and it was like a 180 grip. I was like,
Mhm.
So Chase just went 5-7 light swisher pocket on lanes 13 and 14.
I'll just have
Andrew
a
Anderson steps
quick
back
look
up.
at 10th frame for Andrew.
Ooh.
Another 10 pin.
That 8-pin stayed there a little bit as well.
Yeah. But it may be also a bit of a
Full
sign that it's time to move a little bit, make the ball go slightly longer, maybe.
He's almost finished though, and he's just trying to cruise that out a little bit there. Chase is on 5-7. Can he possibly spare that? Looking pretty close.
Look at
Oi,
that.
What a spare. from
Perfect.
Chase. No doubt.
And the ball was hanging close to the gutter.
Looked pretty good off his hand there.
Look at that. Okay, I'm looking around. So Chase has a chance to do max score of 1359 if he strikes out. Could be short for the total. Andrew Hall is 89 over, so he needs a game of at least the 70s. Not looking bad at the moment. Spare triples throwing now. 10 pins, so that puts him down to 260 if he strikes out after sparing this one. That also would be pretty much it. If he doesn't strike in any frame, it's going to be a game over for Andrew Hall.
Mike Hong's pretty good now. Double nice play, nice ball strike on 17, 18.
And I was going to say that's the only bowler that probably has a true chance to try to make it on this particular squad we're watching now.
Would you say Mike Hong needs to strike out, or do you reckon he's a safe 230?
Where is he bowling now?
He's at 17,
I've lost him. 17, 18.
He's on a double 9 spare.
Double 9 spare strike. Well, I think he's already not trying to do so many strange things. That could be the reason why he kept the reactive he shot on the last 2 or 3 frames on the previous game. I don't think he needs to take too many risks Just try to bowl safe, unless you see the lane doing something very weird. Just make sure you make good shots.
So I think Maikon will be second up in a second here. That'll be quite interesting to see.
And I'm keeping an eye also. Is lanes 1 to 4 frozen, or is it just for? It's frozen for everybody. Okay.
Great
Okay,
shot
okay,
from
okay.
Maikon there. That's a double for Maikon. Andrew Hall on lanes 20. 19 and 20 has a spare.
It's game over for Andrew Hall now.
Yeah.
Nothing to do. Max score of 250. He's got 90 over, so that would put him on 30, 40 something. I don't think it's enough to make it to the final, not even on an early bird. And they're working on whatever's happening on lanes 1 and 2. I hope we can get it fixed soon enough, because I'm very curious to see what Torre
That's a
can
great
manage
spare
to do.
from Max Lorenz. He spared the fourth, what was that, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10.
Wow.
That pair's pretty high scoring. 268, 214, 225, and a 239. Spares.
I told you, 9 and 10 is a beautiful place to be.
Again with Paul, 214, there's always going to be one in the teens.
And you know that actually, when they shot that 279, 279, 259, it was actually the guy in the same spot that shot 213.
Wow.
And then they say the universe is not a simulation. It looks like a simulation.
A little bit. A little bit. Daniel Aberno, Danielle, open strike spare, 5 in a row spare. That's pretty good. Running away from next squad maybe.
And we're happy to see that lanes 1 to 4 are unfrozen, and so is Torre after a couple of open frames. He's actually wasn't scratch par. Now he has a double. Probably needs a couple more,
Very much so.
so he can put up the score to at least 1330s, and that could open a door for him as a senior.
Great shot from Oscar there. Really opening the lane up.
Yeah, that second open frame for Torre was very expensive.
Very. Back-to-back open frames are the worst. It makes you doubt everything as well. A little
Okay,
crossover.
that's the lucky one. Doing the
And
dance.
and he knows it. He knows it.
He's got the victory dance over there.
Here's Andrew Hall, 19 and 20. Pretty deep.
It looks like
Ooh.
some of them have gone a lot deeper than
I feel
we've
like,
seen before.
Marcus Janssen last night was very deep.
Yeah, Marcus has gone deep on some of the squads as well.
Goes Mike Ong, throws it pretty hard. Great shot from Mike.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needs. Some striking, some good pin action, some good shots. Try to secure his spot into the final.
So Andrew Anderson finished on 12.79, 13.09 for Max Lorenz, 11.08 for Tommy McNeil. Paul Purse had 12.92. That's block. Next person finishing probably will be lanes 13, 14. 12.90 for who's that on the top right there?
On the down screen,
Yeah.
it's Robin Welkman.
Yeah, 12.90.
Moritz, it's actually Moritz. It's hard to read from that far. Robin Persson is
Yeah.
striking a lot also on lanes 5 and 6. And of
Just
course,
10
as soon as we mention somebody, he stops striking. It's quite a shame, but it is what it is. Okay, I'm going to quickly go to lane 1 and 2
Yeah.
because Torre is about to make his 10th frame. And that's a little bit like if we were watching Ronaldinho play football once again. You want to
Funnily
see.
enough, Ronaldinho's come back to football.
That's why I mentioned you
Yeah.
want to see his last skills before he hangs the shirt forever.
Do you think he'll be just as good?
Ronaldinho,
Yeah.
he's better than Messi. He's just lazy.
Sounds like Neymar.
Yeah, that was not the best shot for Torre Torgersen.
So that means that Torre is probably pretty much
Torre is going to
done.
be on 13, 15. He's going to have to hope that it's enough on the senior category. It could be. Last year it was not that high for the seniors. It was somewhere around 80 over. I believe it was Oscar and Martin Paulson.
James just crumbles the 3-pin there.
And spare
on
for
spare.
Torre. You could see James how he was twisting his head to see what Torre was doing. And that's what happens when you see one of these people that you have seen when you were younger. And it was already a star, even if it doesn't bowl anymore. Your heart is kind of cheering for them,
It's
rooting for them.
No, it's true. It's quite strange for me to watch Martin Larson play, to be fair, sometimes, because I was there when the Weber Cup happened years ago. I think Jesper even played when I last was there, and I was tiny. And now I play with them in the blocks and the squads, and that. It's just really weird to just speak to them like it's not, you know. It's like what talking to Messi and them guys when you're playing football, right? No, Torre strikes for
217 for Torre Torgersen, 13-14. I would say it's a very good squad for Torre. We're going to remind he hasn't bowled since April. He didn't bowl since April. He bowled 5 games of practice. He drilled one concept and showed up to bowl the squad. So
it means class never fails, right?
Yeah, riding a bike is riding a bike.
Lanes 17 and 18. Mike on just 10 pins. I don't know if he spared it or not. Doesn't come up yet.
Yeah, he got the spur.
Staying pretty clean, pretty close.
So if he spares every single frame from here and on, it's like 1370, 1369. So I'm pretty sure he's going to try to at least get one more double to secure those 70 some that most of us were talking about not long ago on our predictions.
Quite interesting actually in score-wise. Not some major big scores. The highest set by looks is going to be 1370 if Icon finishes out quite strong.
Just a couple of frames ago, and this first squad on Monday here in Helsingborg. Beautiful weather today, very beautiful weather.
When I got my haircut today, very warm.
The sun was shining. I took a walk on town. I walked around the parks for a while. I was very happy. There was a university doing some kind of physical training, so I spent some time there, sitting down in the sun, looking at them doing some exercise, and it was beautiful. I had some lunch around. Beautiful time, beautiful weather. Loved that. It's always good to see the young people doing some exercise because you want them to stay healthy, and because lately it's too many young people, you know, smoking, drinking, and doing this kind of things that are going to make you die way too young, and you want to live a very long, healthy life.
Yes,
okay, Mike on got the strike. Hey, you guys, that's what happens. I'm used to it. You guys can laugh as much as you want.
No, it's true, it's
but
true.
You are young, and you don't know what the true pleasures of life are yet.
Hopefully you can show me, Louis.
I'll actually tell you what was my reflection when I was walking on the street. I said to myself, as soon as I'm a pensioner, I'm going to move up here. I'm going to do this thing I did today. Walk around town and see how people do sports in the park.
Sounds lovely.
I'm going to buy myself a dog so I can walk it 5 times a day.
I think the dog will be happy.
And I'm going to put an alarm so I don't forget what are the right times to go out there.
Mike Ong struck in the 9th frame. That's pretty big for him right now.
See, you're not listening. I already said that.
In
see? Between all that nonsense, that information was already out there.
See, your nonsense is hypnotizing, Louis. Your nonsense is hypnotizing.
But it's going to be interesting what Mike can do on the 10th frame. One more strike. It's going to put him straight into the final. I would bet pretty much anything. If he doesn't strike, he's going to have to go into the church in the corner, light some candles, and hope it's going to be enough, because it's going to be somewhere around the 1360s, 70s.
Maybe my prediction of 1365 might be enough. The scores aren't massive today, though.
No, it was a little bit on game 3 that showed up the people coming up. Then on game 4, it slowed down for a few of them.
So Chase Nadeau's gone to 1335. So he doesn't improve from his score yesterday.
No, he doesn't.
1345 yesterday, so he doesn't improve. Mike Ong will be stepping up now after Oscar's just finished his spare. Cole Vulgren has 220? No, 210 pace. Yeah, 220 pace. Pretty good from Carl Vulgren. Slowly finding pace. Maybe next squad he can work out.
You know, this squad, it's actually making me feel better about my squad. It wasn't that bad there.
What did you have?
25 under.
I don't know about that one.
It was very bad, but now it doesn't feel that bad.
It is tough out there. It's tough.
When the team Sweden was bowling, it felt even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that squad was very nice to see, obviously. There goes Mike on. That's a key shot. Ah, soft end there.
not
He
gonna be
needs
happy
the
about
spare,
that.
needs a strike for 1371. And I'm going to open Google Maps to let him know where the church is, so he can go light that candle.
I might need to join him. Just pull my squad. together.
Honestly, it's hard because he has been bowling super consistent. He started his squad fighting with Perry. He couldn't find, actually, it was bowling here. He couldn't really find some carry. He shot 186, but then he did 3 very high games consecutive, 247, 278, 244. And we saw last game when he was on lane 1 and 2, he had to switch balls. He left urethane, moved to that reactive. Didn't really catch the carry he was hoping for, so that cost him to have again a game of under 200 with 189. And here we see him now with a double 9-9, triple 9, strike 9. So 227 if he strikes, and as we said, it's going to be squad leader with 1371, which could be the early bird.
Ball changed last frame. Last shot.
It looked
pretty
better.
nice.
It definitely looked better than the other one.
So 1371 is pretty good. It's a pretty good number.
And it gives him good information from later on again.
I think 1371 could give a bit of a sniff chance there.
It could be the early bird.
I think the scores aren't going to be any higher than 1360 even after this squad. Look, there had some great bowlers in here. You had Andrew Anderson, you had Andrew Hall, Nick Chase Nadeau, Nora, Mike, Ray, and Max, Paul.
But that could be also the other side of the coin. So many good players, they haven't done it yet. As soon as they do it, boom, 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 and the cat goes down, down, down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Rev rates and more urethane looks, and maybe less urethane looks if that's the case.
We have to see. And Raymond T's
Just finishing up here.
finishing, but not really finding anything that paid out good enough for him. That's pretty much it for this first squad today on here in Helsingborg Monday morning. Time to have some lunch, and we'll be back later on with some more action. Thank you so much, Dan, for your time. It's always
No
a true
problem.
pleasure to spend some time here with
always.
you. And guys, we will be back pretty much at the beginning of the next squad, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.